During the Memorial Day weekend on Sunday, May 28, 1995, in Tonto National Forest near Kingman, Arizona, what was to be a peaceful and beautiful morning for hikers and campers turned into a nightmare when suddenly and out of nowhere a semi-truck came barreling through the small forest roads, sending people running and scattering in a panic trying to seek cover. Two campers were nearly killed in their SUV when the 18-ton truck narrowly missed them. Witnesses saw the truck driver as being in a hypnotic state and not concerned to the dangers he was causing. The truck thundered back and forth several times that day until it got stuck deep in the woods. As the truck lay motionless, a man thought to be the driver was pacing erratically and talking loudly to himself. He was approached by two hikers and asked if he needed any help and why was he struck in the forest. He responded, "They made me do it." "Made you do what?" the hiker said, and then the man muttered to himself, "No, you can't help me out. I'll never get out of here. I'm going to jail." The hikers thought either that the man was a criminal running away from the law or was a psychopath who had murder in his mind. However, the truck drivers, although behaving erratically, seemed harmless. They didn't ask the hikers for help but instead walked aimlessly away from them while talking incoherently. Later that afternoon, law enforcement located the truck that was marooned in the heart of the forest. The deputy was surprised that such a large vehicle would go down those roads. He was totally awestruck. The truck was stuck in the mud in a meadow near Forest Service Road 137 in the Buck Springs area, about 20 miles from Highway 87. The truck was transporting 1,200 boxes of lettuce and strawberries, which appeared intact and undisturbed. The refrigeration unit was running and inside the truck was clean and well cared for, with no signs of any struggle. No other occupants were in the truck and nothing seemed to be missing. The bewildered trucker that the hikers had spoken with earlier was gone, or was he? The following afternoon at around 4 p.m., the same couple that almost got killed by the wayward truck were driving in the forest when they recognized the driver kneeling on the side of the road and staring at a tree. He looked like he was in a daze and babbling to himself. When asked if he needed help, he said, "I got to light the grill." They noticed he was holding a $20 bill and striking it with a rock as if he were trying to start a fire. In front of him was a flat rock. They looked around but did not see anything that could have been a grill. The man had nothing else with him. The couple quickly left the site when the man threw a rock at their car, and this was the last time he was ever seen alive. That same day, the wife of 29-year-old Devin Eugene Williams reported him missing after he failed to return home from his job as a long-haul trucker, delivering fruits and vegetables. The father of three left his home in Americus, Kansas on May 23, 1995 and headed west. It was a route he had taken many times. He delivered his load in California on schedule. He picked up new loads for the return trip and checked in as planned with his boss, Tom Wilson. Tom did not recall anything out of the ordinary about their conversation. Everything indicated that it was a normal trip, that he was on time, and that everything was going well. On Saturday evening, May 27th, Devin rolled into Kingman, Arizona. From there, he phoned headquarters for the last time. He stated that he could not get any sleep, but was committed to getting back on the road. He was supposed to arrive in Kansas City, Missouri on Monday morning, but by Sunday morning something unexplainable happened. Devin went mad and drove his truck through a national forest, which was miles from any major highway. To this day, no one knows why he did it. None of it makes any sense. His wife, Mary Lou, believes an incident during his route caused Devin to have a mental breakdown. She said that it was not like him to go off his route. Devin did not have any history of mental illness, and he did not abuse drugs or alcohol, nor did he have a criminal past. He seems to have a happy and normal life with his wife and kids. With no concrete evidence of what caused Devin to act crazy and then disappear, a lot of speculation started coming out of the woodwork. One was that he indeed had been kidnapped and that he had been forced to do what he did by threat or violence. But who would do this and why? What was the motive? Williams didn't have any known enemies, and why would someone abduct a truck driver just to have them go rambling through a wooded area in the middle of nowhere and then vanish into thin air to abandon the semi? There was the idea that Williams wanted to start a new life, but he loved his family dearly and had just bought a new house. So why would he do this? Also, how does that account for his insane demeanor? It has been suggested that someone forced him to take drugs or may have unknowingly taken something that caused him to hallucinate. Another idea is that he had diabetes and had experienced some sort of attack. There were even more wilder theories that he had been abducted or mind-controlled by ghouls or space aliens, as there were some UFO sightings in that area at that time. For almost 2 years, nobody knew what happened to Devin. Police searched the entire area where he abandoned his truck, but came up empty-handed. Hikers and hunters also didn't report anything that could have identified him. It wasn't until May 2nd, 1997, when a human skull was found just a quarter of a mile from where Williams had last been seen. It was determined that the skull did belong to Devin Williams, but considering that there was no trauma or injury found on it, it was impossible to know the cause of death. The location of the skull to where he had vanished was also an enigma in itself, as the area had been thoroughly searched in the days after the disappearance. And far from some remote wilderness, this was a very popular outdoor recreation area visited by scores of people. So how had he managed to elude all of these people, to die there alone, and then have his remains decomposed to leave just a skull 2 years later without anyone noticing? Was he killed somewhere else and then dumped there much later? It just doesn't make any sense. None of it does. There has been no real explanation that neatly ties it all together, and it still remains a mystery. So what really happened to Devin Williams? Only God can answer it.